Live now, we're live. All right, all right, all right. Good evening. It is presently 2/10/21, aka February 10th, 2021. And it's another exciting Wednesday. It is another session of the Economic Crisis Initiative with your team. It happens to just be all women again this evening, but that's okay because next week we are going to have our real estate seminar workshop with the one and only David Germain and possibly other friends in the community. But tonight we wanted to welcome all of you. And right now, I don't know if I said my name. I'm Anaya A again. And right now we're going to introduce our sister, Miss Mimi, all the way from Toronto, Canada. You say Canada, I say Canada. Take it over, Mimi, and then we'll have Miss Ty.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Anaya and everybody here. Thanks so much for having me again. Happy to be here. I think this is like week 10 or week 11. So going on pretty strong in those double digits. So yeah, I'm checking in from Toronto. I'm an entrepreneur. I have a law firm, a technology company, and I also do sales for a vegan luxury cosmetics company based here in Canada. Anaya has it right there. It's Urban Minerals, beautiful shade of Violet Violet going on so smoothly, and it lasts all day. So I'm a very passionate person. My mantra, my motto is positive mental attitude, and I strive to be better every day. I am working on my YouTube channel right now. So if you can please go and support me by subscribing. I just hit over 100 subscribers today, and I will be uploading more often very, very soon. So thanks for having me here, and I'm excited to contribute to the conversation tonight.
Thank you so much, Mimi. And that's so amazing that you're sharing that. I actually have a YouTube page that I need to get more subscribers to. So I'm a piggyback off of Mimi. Subscribe to me. We're gonna share our links in the section below the chat for sure. And you know what? We all need to share all of our social media contact so we can stay connected throughout the week and be the loving ECI family that we are. Oh, that's my PSA for now. Thank you, Mimi. Ty, are you available?
Hey family, how you doing? It's Ty representing the youth here. My mom's calling me. Sorry about that. I'm gonna make sure she joins the Zoom since she's calling me. But how you doing, you guys? I am currently a CUNY BA student studying an interdisciplinary degree that majors in youth development, and I'm also a part of NAN, of course, as a youth liaison working with the Crisis Initiative, and also a part of NAN Youth Huddle. So shout out to NAN. And I'm so happy to be here with my ECI team to get my learning on, to get my bonding on with these beautiful ladies. And, like I said, I'm just here to bring my youth's aspect, and see what we could get together, bring to the table, and figure out, family.
Excellent, Ty. Thank you so much. And yes, bring Mama on because she's such a great addition. Anybody else wants to share their platform and a little bit about who they are before we get started? Welcome our Facebook family. We have several people on Facebook. There's my sister Denise. Go ahead, sis.
Hey, how is everybody? So, good evening, good evening. My name is Denise Williams. I am the CEO and founder of Limitless 101, which basically provides a health and wellness services to people who have experienced trauma. So, if you're an adult by now, you've experienced some trauma, whether you want to accept it or not. So, basically, what I do is if you've experienced something that kind of took your breath away, affected you in some kind of permanent way, whether it be a minor trauma versus all the way up the spectrum to a major trauma, any kind of life change that basically made you stop in your tracks, that probably could have maybe stopped you from believing in yourself, believing in your goals, your dreams, maybe derailed you from your goals and your dreams, or just, now you have real significant symptoms of whatever that thing was, that event or series of events that has changed your life. I work to help you to move that out of your life and move you into a place where you start believing again, and you start looking towards your future of whatever it is you wanted your future to be or what you want your future to be. So I offer transformational life coaching. I offer yoga. I offer Reiki, meditation. I and capture all of those services in my nature walks. It's called Healthy Me Walks. And I also do the meditations right now every Wednesday morning at 6:30 a.m. on Zoom. If you're interested, send me okay, I should probably I'm gonna put my social media information or all my information, my contact information in the chat. So that if you are interested, you can DM me or you can email me, denise.limitless101@gmail.com. I'm also on Facebook as Limitless101. I'm also on Instagram, limitless101.freedom. You can also call me 347-868-YOU-WIN. 347-868-UWINN.
That is amazing. I never knew that's what your numbers were in your phone. Yeah, that is amazing. That is powerful. You win, I win, we win. We win. That's right, boo. Thank you so much, Denise, for sharing. And I love everything about your platform. That's why we're here together, because we have a little bit of everything on this platform. We share, we grow, we work together. And it's exciting when we have somebody in mental health, in natural resources, you know, Reiki, yoga, etc. And I see that we have members who have been participating for sure. And that makes me feel really good that we have members that are working with you. Now, funny enough, your girl Anaya hasn't made it to one of those 6:30 sessions yet, but we working on it. Praise the Lord. Amen.
Always catch the replay. If you let me know you want the replay, I can always send it and you can experience it on your own time. And don't, if you're not going to get up at that time and it's really a hassle, replay.
And you know what? I know personally that her stuff is truth, and we also utilize a lot of her practices right here at the end of every session. And our girl has the bowl ready for tonight. Thank you. All right, guys. Anybody else? Mama is in the building. I believe this is Mama Rose. This is Ty's mom. Are you available to share who you are so they know too?
Hi, good evening.
My name
is Rose, and I'm Taquaya's mom.
Anything else you want to share about yourself?
I was born and raised in New York. I was a single parent, and me and Taquaya rode this road out, and we're gonna continue riding it out. I'm officially now back in North Carolina, Charlotte. So
yes,
I'm making big things happen down here for me.
Okay, there you have it, folks. And however we can partner with you down south, that's what we want to do, because we heard the real estate down there is much better than up here too. That part. Yes. Okay, we'll be talking. Thank you so much. Anybody else before we go in? We have our Facebook family that's watching. Welcome everybody on Facebook. You all please definitely share on your platforms. If you go right from the Anaya A page, which I think most of us are already friends on Facebook, then you could just share right there and let the people know that we are having this conversation this evening and that we want them to be a part of what we're working on. We have several people already watching, and that makes me feel really good. We have Christine Hollins all the way from England watching, Gregory Roberts right here in the heart of Harlem or the Bronx. I don't know which one he's in, but he's always in the Harlem area. So that makes me feel great. So there's about 6 or 7 people already watching with us tonight. So feel free to share. As I mentioned moments ago before we got started, the purpose of tonight is to planify for the workshop, which is next week. We have a real estate and opportunities workshop. We have a brother by the name of David, Jermaine. If he's available to come on to chat with us for a few, great. If not, we want to save all that great energy and information for next week, for sure, because we want him to not be tied with us, even though he said he don't want to be tied with us, and he won't be tied with us. But I want him to be able to go in hard next week. So we're preparing for the workshop for next week. And one of the things that we discussed on a call with Sister Denise is literally, having the ability to share this workshop on a multitude of platforms, right? Because we want more people to experience this information. When you have greatness in the room, you want to share that greatness with others. And that's what we talked about, right, Denise? She's nodding because she remembers. And we just definitely want to create like an event flyer, as well as put it together on a platform and spread it out there. And one of the things that I was sharing with all of you, even before we started this evening, and I'm so glad you all were talking about children, because that's up the same alley with me, Ty, being the youth liaison for multiple units and places, and loving the children, and all of you loving the children, and a few of you having children as well. I have a furry child, so I don't know if that one counts, but whatever. What I wanted to share about that is we want to have at least 100 children present for the workshop. Now, they could be present in any capacity, just not physically, obviously. We have the Zoom thing happening, but when I say in any capacity, they could watch from phones, they could watch from your TV if you know how to hook up the HDMI thing. They could watch from a number of places. You may even act like they're watching a whole program on TV somewhere and they don't even realize it's your own friends. Hello, wink, wink. Like, oh, you should come here and watch this great program about investing into your future. Yay. And you could bring their, piggy bank out and have them start dropping into coins. Like, you're saving towards your future, baby. But those are some of the ideas that we have. And then, of course, as Ty and I know, we are a part of NAN Youth Huddle as well. So we are going to have that conversation. I'm going to have that conversation with Ashley Sharpton to see how we could possibly partner with the NAN Youth Huddlers so that we can make this thing bigger and better, to teach them some of the things that we've been learning and what David has to share with us. And then also invite a couple of different speakers as well, because we will be there for about 3 hours on that night. First of all, does anybody have any questions or concerns before we move forward?
I just want to share really quick. So my name is Sherry. Sorry, I can't put the camera on because I'm
That's
eating.
okay. Welcome, Sherry. Oh, so is it Cherry or Sherry?
Sherry.
Hi, Sherry.
So it's lovely to meet you guys. I was definitely amazed when you were on the panel the other night, Anaya.
Thank you.
At NAN. And I had to, link with you. I believed in everything that you were saying.
Yes.
I am a mother first.
Wow.
And I'm raising a young Black male. He's 12 years old, very ambitious, business mindset, and he's also a part of the youth huddle at NAN. And otherwise, I am a culinary arts student. So I am working on becoming an entrepreneur in the near future. So I wanted to be here to bond with people, meet new people, and just get the ball rolling with us empowering each other.
Thank you. And Sherry, tell us, what made you choose your discipline, your degree to go into culinary? Do you just love to cook?
So it was something that I started when I was 18. And at that time, I wasn't ready to focus. And had I had that, mental state of mind at that time to really like hone in on that craft, it probably would have been good for me, but I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready, and I was just kind of like all over the place. So I did a lot of clerical work, and I realized, sitting at a computer wasn't for me. I figured out my hobbies, and one of them was definitely cooking. And I always said to myself, why didn't I consider this a passion of mine? Because I really enjoy it. So back in 2018, I went and I got my food handler's permit. I took a couple of trainings, and I've been cooking ever since, nonstop, farm to table, from scratch. I love it, and my family loves it too.
Wow, you speak so eloquently. I appreciate you for being here. And I had no idea who you were, but I feel like we've actually met before. So thank you so much for taking this time to join us. And hopefully your little guy can be a part of us next week as well. And you can share with the rest of the NAN Youth Huddlers what we're working on, because again, several of you have children here. And then of course, Mama Rose, we're going to call her Mama Rose, right? Because she's, Ty's mama. So all respect to her. Mama Brenda's on this as well. One of the things that I've realized is we as a community did not set up our children to be ready to move forward and to have the financial stability that we needed, right? And it's no fault or anything of, the older generation, etc. But because of the times that they were in and things of that nature, and I can't say exactly what, but I just know from my particular situation why I'm so passionate about this and why I'm also working to get young people on board is because I don't know where I was. I might have been 13, maybe 14. One day I heard somebody talking about a mutual fund. Never heard of it before. My Haitian parents, get it? You see that Haitian flag? Those Haitian parents didn't know what the heck I was talking about. I came home, I was like, we need mutual funds. We need mutual funds. We have to be rich in the future. That's all I knew, and because like in my family dynamic, everything was like cash, cash, cash coming from this background. And then to know that there was a way to invest your money and grow your money and things like that, it made me excited. But my parents didn't have the foreknowledge, right? They weren't like broke. They weren't like, in poverty, but they just didn't comprehend the stock market. They didn't understand the saving opportunities or how to have multiple streams of income and all of these things that we're doing here today. So that's why I'm so happy that we have the parents on. And I thank you, Sherry, for being interested. And this is a family unit here. So if you have any questions, concerns, feel free to ask anybody anything. And then also you're a part of the WhatsApp link too. Thank you so much. Oh, that makes me so happy. Thanks. Anybody else? I know probably some people can't speak because of their little ones in the background. But if you want to speak, unmute yourself and, open up your camera and you'll be available to speak any moment. Oh, I guess nobody wants to say anything right now. That's okay. Well, it's been a really long day for me, like I stated, guys. So if you hear my voice is a little funky, please forgive me because of the day that I had in standing up for our community. It was pretty intense. Mama Brenda was in the building. Praise the Lord. We were in Times Square. So just bear with me with my voice. With that being said, how is everybody doing economically? One of the things that I wanted to remind you all of was literally coming together and discussing some of the strategies that you've learned, maybe strategies that you've been putting into practice. If you haven't, no shade, right? We don't want anybody to feel any kind of way. We just want to know how you're doing economically and financially. And then let's see how tonight we could start putting more practices into place. Now, I know somebody like Mimi may have some things that she wants to share about that, because I know she's always grinding and building and saving and doing something with her Forex. And let's also talk about the stock market a little bit. We've seen what just happened in regards to these stocks and GameStop and all these different things. So I'm throwing it all in there, but you can decipher which part you want to take out and share. So Mimi, I would love to call on you first, and then we can go around the room, the Zoom room.
Sure. So yeah, a lot of crazy things have been happening in the market with regulated and unregulated brokers like Robinhood. The whole GameStop situation, I think, was pretty unfortunate. And it just, we're in the midst of a financial crisis. Certain things, like this happen once every 10 years or so. And a lot of new players have entered the game, like cryptocurrency. And it's completely changed the way people see how investing works. Tesla, I'm sure if you've been following the crypto Bitcoin news, Tesla purchased a pretty big chunk of Bitcoin, and they made more money in 24 hours through cryptocurrency than they have in the last 14 years operating their motor vehicle company. And they're already so much in advance ahead. They're utilizing the technology. I guess it was just a matter of time. So in terms of my own vehicles of investment, I do use artificial intelligence. That kind of takes the emotion out of things. And when looking at any type of investing, I'm no expert at all. I've really learned how to better manage my money I'd say within the last 2.5 years. And I became an entrepreneur right out of university. I started an SEO and online marketing company back in 2013, and I started in New York City. So I moved there right after undergrad. And anyways, fast forward to now, like I said, I'm no expert, but I've learned a few things through my platform, and I've learned that time is the greatest factor when you're looking at any type of investment opportunity, or like that could be physical investment, financial investment, whatever type of investment. Like, how long are you willing to sit there and let that ride out? Because in my opinion, time is the greatest currency. Can't get it back, unfortunately. But it's things that kind of take our mind off of it. And I know a lot more terms and things have been kind of, I've heard new terms this year I've never heard in my life. Like certain phrases and things circulating.
Please share, because I know, for example, I don't think you were on last week, Mimi, but for anybody else that remembers, ETFs, I think you already know what that term is, but like for me, ETFs are super new, and just a bunch of different acronyms, and a lot of them associate with the stock market and what we should be looking to invest in. But which ones are you referring to? Because all these acronyms, I don't know how you people remember this stuff. I'm like, what?
I think it just means people are learning. We have so many new platforms. Like, think about it. At the beginning, when the internet first came out, everyone said the internet's, a scam, or it's bad. It's like the dark place, Then it came like all these new social media apps like Facebook and Instagram and TikTok for like, the millennials, and the information is being like fed to us within 15 to 30 seconds. And naturally, certain key phrases, keywords pop up and then boost the algorithm, right? So, yeah, it's definitely a great time to be alive, with all these options available to us, all this education available to us, because at the end of the day, like, we're learning things and have things available to us that are on, not, I would even say, the beginning phases. We're kind of in the implementation phases of certain things that have been already set in place for the last decade since the last crash. So hopefully this pandemic ends soon. It's like there's positive and negative to everything. For me, I've been here in Toronto. We're currently in a lockdown. Things are pretty serious. The repercussions for breaking rules are pretty serious, including going to jail for 1 year. I don't know if anybody knew that, but it's that, or pay a fine up to $750,000. So seeing how the world's taking this, and just grateful to be here and alive, and luckily, here to see another meeting, here to contribute. So yeah, I guess I just leave it off with that. Everything has emotions, but robots are taking over. So find a robot you can trust.
Find a robot you can trust. I love it. And you're absolutely right. We are learning every day. And that's why we're here together, because I don't want any of the community that I'm a part of or people that I love to be left behind, because we have been left behind for so long. We were not invited to any of these tables, and we want to be able to not only just have a seat, but we want to have a part of the table. We want to be able to say, we come with this and we want to leave a legacy. We want to help our community grow. We want to make a difference financially and economically, and then have a future, right? Because right now, the way things are going, if you're not making, $1 million a year or whatever, you're pretty much impoverished, right? And the big companies don't care about the small people. We know that. We see it every day. And what's happening in Canada is like really something that may happen here in the United States very soon. And we have to pay very close attention to what's happening in other communities, because you all are already experiencing, right, this shutdown, lockdown, new world order. I probably shouldn't utilize that phrase on this platform, but I'm going to utilize that phrase because it's real. The NWO New World Order is real. Welcome back, Ty. And what people don't understand is, Ty, Mimi just shared some information that's mind-boggling.
Sorry about that, guy.
It's okay. It's okay. I wanted to piggyback and share with you because what we're learning is, even in her community, if they break the rules of like the pandemic right now, they're being fined or going to jail for like a year, right, Mimi? They can go to jail for a year for not being contained in their home.
For not following the rules, yeah.
Not following the rules. And why is that important to us? We have to find ways now to survive, ready guys, in a way that's abnormal. That is not what is the typical way for us to live. Because when you used to be able to work out in the streets or do whatever, you can't do that anymore. What is the newest thing to do? Trading online, Forex, excuse me, buying stocks, Robinhood. Mimi was just sharing about the whole Robinhood thing. And if anybody else wants to talk about what just happened in regards to the stock market, we need to definitely talk about that, because that's something I've never seen before with GameStop and Robinhood. I personally don't comprehend all those things. That's why I have a financial planner. And he said, and I quote, Anaya, it's like gambling. It's literally like gambling. And if you want to jump in, you know, be very careful. I'm not advising you what to do and what not to do, because I'm like, I have like $100 in Robinhood. I don't know what it's doing, but I don't think I'm investing in anything that just made like $1 billion overnight. That's another story. But
yeah,
anyway,
no, it's never like that.
It's never like that, right?
No.
Yo, I have the stock that's not going anywhere for the rest of our lives. Like the stock that, you know, I don't know, you plant a tree and it, I don't know what the hell. But either way, guys, you know what I mean? I didn't luck up or whatever. But yeah, so but this is why we're talking about this as we prepare for a powerful workshop, as we prepare for opening our minds to educating ourselves as to what can we do to become more financially secure, because there's no security right now. We are literally in a deficit. We are in a depression almost. I don't want to say depression because that sounds really bad, but you guys understand what I mean, right? Anybody else have anything that they want to share? How's your financial status? What are some of the things that you're investing in? How do you feel right now? And what are some of the things that worry you as well? Mimi, if you have anything else you want to share, please feel free. If not, anybody else want to share?
Mimi, I definitely want to.
Oh, oops. 3 of you. That's okay. Who wants to go first? Go ahead, raise your hand or do a little something to let me know. Oh, Sherry's unmuted. Okay, Sherry, you want to go? And then I guess it could be Sandy, and then it could be Denise, if that's okay.
So, are we speaking on terms of just business, or this can be any aspect of your life?
Any aspect. So with the Economic Crisis Initiative, and let me just give you a quick little background, because I shared a little bit on Monday, but with the Economic Crisis Initiative, it's literally looking at our financial lives and our everyday businesses, everyday portfolio, what we're worried about, how to decrease debt, increase wealth, having multiple streams of income, you know, joining, you know, the right, you know, financial advising groups so that you can make great decisions in mutual funds and stocks and things like that. None of us are financial advisors, just to let you know, Sherry, but we all work with people that can help, you know, advise you and different things like that. So references, referrals, that's what we're here for as well.
Okay, great. So I actually, I have 2 things that I feel like just are pushing us back as a family financially. So the first thing is, like I said, going to school. They have suspended my classes for this semester.
Wow.
Which I was really upset about. And, you know, I feel like it's putting me in a space where I'm stagnated, because for one, I really like invested in that, you know, like I invested my money and time. I applied for scholarships and grants and all of that. And I really felt like, okay, this is something that, you know, when you spend your time on something, that's gonna equal to money, you know, and also whatever actual coins you did put into it. So that kind of like took me back, like whatever space I was in, I got pushed back. So now they're like, well, hopefully we'll be able to go back in the fall. But at the same time, I was hoping to start my business in the fall. So that's like a whole like issue that I'm just like, now I just gotta wait. I just gotta wait and see what happens, because that was something I invested in, and I can't just close that door and say, oh, well, that's not gonna work out. Like, I really need to do that to complete my goal, you know? So I am gonna, you know, look into other resources, but at the same time, I really feel taken back. And I do wanna just, you know, do the right thing, as in like, you know, be patient. But at the same time, if it doesn't, if things fall through the cracks, I don't know what I'm going to do, because at the end of the day, I have people that are saying, well, listen, I want you to do this and I want you to do that, but I need you to get that certain degree or certification or whatever. And I can't produce that.
Right.
You know, so, you know, that's just messing with my money flow. It's messing with my money flow. It's messing with my opportunities and my business. And, you know, it's putting me in a space that I don't like. So that's one thing. Then on the flip side, with my son, one of his programs got cut. They were there for about a year, and they said coming at the end of this month, they will be leaving the building. So they will no longer have youth activities in that facility. And I was really bummed out about that, because everything was free. So, you know, he's doing boxing for free. What else? Music production for free. They had business classes for free at his age, at 12 years old, you know, basketball, all of that for free. So now I'm like, I can't just say, oh, well, the program's closing, you know, you're just going to stay at home. No, I got to keep him involved in something. I got to keep him engaged, because he's already at home. So now I got to dish out money to find another program, because a lot of the free programs are they're losing funding. So I'm going to have to put him in something where I'm going to have to come out of my pocket. And I'm, you know, it's just like a huge digress to me, because I'm like, here I was thinking I was saving money by, you know, not being able to go places and do certain things because of COVID. But then it's now I'm going to be spending money, because some of these virtual programs I'm spending money on right now. Like, he's doing breakdancing and I'm spending money on that. So I'm just kind of like, I got to find a way to budget my lifestyle at this point, because you know, it's getting a little tight. And I'm starting to just like, you know, lose like the vision that I had. Like, I had a certain vision, and I'm like, I still want to keep that vision of being financially stable, but right now it's like I'm getting depleted. So I definitely need someone to reach out to me for resources and things like that, because I don't want to just fall and fall on my face flat, you know, like I want to stay afloat and get through this.
First of all, I commend you. Everybody give it up for Sherry for sharing. We are here for you, sister. And let me tell you something. It takes a brave soul to just come out and share that and really put it all out there. And that's why I clap it up for you, because a lot of people are not as transparent. So God bless you. Now, this is what we're going to do. We all are going to find out what resources we have in our community. Sherry, one thing that we don't know is, where are you located? And please drop, you know, or tell us, you can unmute and let us know your location, so that we can better rally together and assist you any way we can. We met in Harlem, but if you're in another part of, you know, the community, let us know. Ladies, since we're all ladies tonight, I think this is a project that I think would be very good for us to rally together and do something about. Furthermore, I wanted to add that we're in a new election cycle. And even today, at the end of the rally that I was a part of, it dawned on me, and you all can agree or disagree, or we can work on this together, that all of these political people, oh, currently in Brooklyn, got you. Okay, so she's in Brooklyn, y'all. We're gonna definitely see what we can do to get resources and things like that. That's gonna be on my personal list to help you this week for sure. And trust and believe, you're not alone. in this whole situation. A lot of families are going through this, and it looks different for every family. But then when you have somebody that's speaking up, it becomes real. So one of the things, little furry person, sorry, guys. One of the things that I came to the conclusion of was that literally a lot of politicians are not talking about this. A lot of politicians or those candidates that are running for office, they're not putting these type of issues on the forefront. It's the same rigmarole as if we're not in a pandemic. So if anybody has any other resources for Sherry, please unmute yourself and share any thoughts you have as I put away the furry human. I'll be right back. Unlock yourselves, unmute yourselves, please. So nobody has anything else? Okay, no problem. I know it's a very tough situation, and others are actually going through probably the same thing. So Sherry, we're gonna stay in touch. I will see what I can get as resources and information for you, especially when it comes to your young person. And then maybe we can have a talk on Monday at Nan Youth Huddle as well, or before Monday with Ashley or Damo in regards to this topic, because Nan actually used to provide every week, we had a schedule of different events and things that people could do in the community, between basketball, with the guys, or, karate with Brother Mallory. I don't know if Mama Brenda remembers, Brother Mallory was leading that with the whole karate thing. And there was a lot going on. But again, with the pandemic, everything had to shut down. But I'm pretty sure we can raise awareness and work together to make a difference. Anybody else want to share anything? You can unmute yourself. I know the Urban Cinderella was unmuting before, and so was Denise. Now's your time.
Okay, this is Brenda. I think that Mr. Allen could probably help her, because didn't he do something with Felipe when he couldn't get in school? Ty, do you remember anything about that?
Yeah, Felipe, but that was college, and that was down south in Atlanta. But he does have a lot of great resources. That's actually a very good idea, Mama Brenda.
Yeah, but he's going to school. He's not going to school in Atlanta. He's taking courses up here, isn't he? He must be taking them online.
You're right. So let's definitely talk about that. You have direct access if you want to take up the charge for that, or
I'll look into that part.
Perfect. So Miss Sherry, honey, we have Mama Brenda with a great leader who's gonna be able to probably find some resources, and that would be a great look, because he is from Nan and he knows a lot in the community. Thank you, Mama Brenda.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Yes, thank you, Mama Brenda.
You're welcome, darling.
I saw others unmuting their phones. Who else wants to speak? Or if Mama Brenda has anything else she wants to say.
No.
Mama Brenda.
Lord have mercy.
Lord have mercy. You still cute, ma'am. You still cute. All right. Anybody else?
Yeah, I was reading on the crypto, since like our first 2 meetings, I've been reading and getting things on it, and I was excited because I wanted to ask Mimi, because like from my perspective, like reading it and trying to follow up, it's almost like double dutch. Like you just waiting to jump in, and every time I'm about to get ready to jump in, it's like the book gets tangled up. So now with this whole dog coin and stuff like that, so and putting things in perspective, is it still a good time to jump in? Or because it's almost like now it seems like everybody just want to play just because they can, versus like some real investment going on. So I just wanted to know what you had to say with everything that's been going on right now with that.
Sure. So now my stance very firmly is like, if you're going to invest in Bitcoin blindly, be ready to lose money, because a huge major player has now entered into holding of a sizable amount of Bitcoin. So they have the ability to influence the market. And it's like that with anything, you know. The more money you have, the more power you have, the more leverage you have to like influence how things are gonna go. So yeah, I would say that like if you're gonna invest, if you're gonna invest in Bitcoin, be prepared to lose money. It is a commodity just like gold, but it's also been around for 11 years and it's at an all-time high. So I wouldn't advise it.
So wait a minute. Now I'm happy we're talking about this part here, ladies. So you mean to tell me we went from invest to don't invest?
Well, right now, you can invest, you know, anytime you want. If you're interested in any types of crypto, you know, you should be building an account, but it shouldn't be like a one-time contribution type thing. It should have a strategy. So if you're completely new to Bitcoin now and where it is now, because where it was when we first spoke about it, I feel like it was a good time to start, you know, getting your feet wet a little bit and like exploring some, you know, strategies, like what your goal is, because just like you said, Anaya, like you have an account in Robinhood, but if you're not placing trades, or first of all, you're using an unregulated broker. So, you know, forget Robinhood. Just say you were trading with your bank and you had $100 in your bank. Now you can choose to put that in an option, just like a different type of crypto, because there's over 2,000 different cryptocurrencies right now. They all have different purposes. So yeah, we saw a huge in the last 48 hours. Tesla bought millions of dollars in Bitcoin, and the price went up significantly. Yeah, so check it out. Like I said, I don't know if you heard me, but Tesla made more money in the last 24 hours than they have in the last 14 years of operating their smart car manufacturing company.
I heard you, and I'm glad the Urban Cinderella came up with this, because I was kind of conflicted as to what that meant, because I have been getting ready for this press conference. So I had no idea that Tesla just did this. But it's not too late though to invest still. We're just
no, I mean there are so many vehicles investing crypto, and you can take the time to learn and practice, you know, trading. But you see, cryptocurrency is one of the three markets of the world. You have your stock market. $500 billion is circulating every day in the stock market, which is open 9:30 to 5:30 Monday to Friday. Then you have the foreign exchange market, which is the buying and selling of currencies and commodities, right? 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. This has $7 trillion circulating in this market on a daily basis versus stock market 500 billion. Now you have cryptocurrency, right? The crypto market. And it's still yet to be determined because there's so many different types of coins, and it's decentralized currency, which means they can't count all the cryptos that are out there because it's currency made for the people by the people. So we have these three major markets. You know, I think because of the nature of how this has now become like so popular in certain network marketing businesses of alerts and education, you know, you have to kind of look at everything a company offers or what an offering is and what they include, and if it works for you. You know, it's there's a reason why so many people didn't trade in the market. Like it started with blue chip, right? Like the penny stocks. It was like that was like the fortitude of one of the financial crises back in like the 80s, right? So so many things, you know, so many options, so many things available. But for me, like I said, artificial intelligence is the way to go. It's the only thing that is really going to work for you. It's studying every move in the market. It's doing all the work so you don't have to. You just need to know which type of technology and, you know, if you're comfortable letting this thing run for you. So yeah, that's my advice when it comes to cryptocurrency right now, Sandy. I know it's like, it is a bit of a hard pill to swallow for many people who have been just so curious about Bitcoin or crypto for so many years, or if they just learned about it this year, you know, just like that, it's just human instinct to want to, you know, be involved. For me, I first bought the cryptocurrency. I bought Bitcoin at a shady ATM, like a Bitcoin ATM back in 2013. So it was like an experiment. And so far, you know, I have no regrets, and now I'm just happy to be associated with something that has powerful technology and credibility behind it. So yeah, if you have any more questions, we can always talk anytime.
Thank you. Appreciate you as always.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Mimi. Denise, you unmuted yourself? I think we lost Miss Denise for a moment. Anybody else? That was so powerful. Thank you, Mimi. Clap it up for Miss Mimi, honey. Thank you. Mimi, we love your knowledge. We love the fact that you're here. And again, don't forget, Mimi has a number of things that she's working on. Stay in touch. Make sure you guys definitely follow her. And let's keep the ball rolling when it comes to the information and getting the resources out there, guys, because we want to make the biggest difference in our communities and really set ourselves, you know, set ourselves up for greatness, because that's what it's all about. If you don't have, you know, the desire to be great, then it's just like a waste of time. But as we look for resources, as we look for information, let's apply that information. How is everybody doing economically? Like, are you feeling really good right now? Are you at a down place? Either way, let's talk about it. And the reason why I like us to talk about certain things like this is to see how we can improve ourselves. So before we started, and you guys can unmute yourselves or do the little hand thing or whatever, show me a sign. But let me share this. I like to share that I'm, you know, learning as I'm going. And I've been utilizing a lot of the things that we've learned on this platform, and I put it into practice. So shout outs to Miss Mimi again, because Mimi shared something about putting money in an envelope. Now, this could be good for Miss Sherry too, who has a son, you know, who may be able to do this, and anybody that's on here. And it's like putting $1. Okay, Miss Mimi may know how to break it down better.
Yeah,
I'm doing it, but the explanation part is not my.
Yeah, it's really, really simple. So for anyone out there listening who wants to save $5,000 in a matter of 100 days, this is how you do it. You take 100 envelopes, and on the outside of each envelope, you write 1 to 100. And each day that passes, you put in that value in the envelope. So day 1, you will put $1, day 2, $2, so on and so forth, up until $100. And by 100 days, you will have $5,000. Now, if you want to double that, you just double the amount on the top of the envelope. So day 1 would be $2, day 4 would be, day 2 would be $4, day 3 would be $6. Yeah, so that's a little strategy you can use.
And
put it in
I'm
a jar
happy.
or something like that.
I'm utilizing that strategy, Mimi. I don't know how much I have yet because I'm not the best addition person, but I'm working on it, boo. So I'm on like
Good job.
Thank you. I'm on like week 3 right now, guys. And let me tell you, dolls, it's really working and I feel responsible. So what I do, instead of doing it every day, I just tally up and save for the week. And then I put it in like, and I do the whole system and everything. And my significant other, he laughs because he's like, you're such a nerd. Why can't you have done this a different way? And I'm like, because Mimi said it works. And I want to do it with the way it's done so that we can feel like we've accomplished something. So I want to say thank you. And for anybody else that's out there, you know, anytime you learn of something to help you save money, to help you grow, because as you guys know, I actually have desires to own property in New York. A lot of people may think that is absolutely impossible, but it's not. That's why, and anybody can, you know, unmute yourself and jump in here, but that's why I'm always on the move to try to find different ways to do different things and save money, things like that. Because as I stated in the top of this platform, if we don't practice what we preach or utilize the techniques that we're learning to implement and to show growth, then it really doesn't mean anything that we've been, you know, on this platform together for like 2 months, 3 months now, right? So that's why I like to do the check-in with you all to see how you're doing. And then again, that's why we have, you know, really powerful leaders in this gamut, such as David Germain. I'm looking to have Dr. Tax Doctor on board with us. Let me just shout him out real quick. He is a brother that knows a lot about taxes. I think he knows a lot about real estate as well, but I'm not going to say what he knows. I'm just going to wait to speak with him and see if he is able and willing to join us on next Wednesday and see how we can work with him more, because right now we're in tax season as well, and we need a reputable company to help us and make sure that we're doing the right thing and things of that nature. But I share that to say, if you have a desire and you have a goal, don't let anybody speak negatively into your life. That goes for you, Sherry. No matter what's going on with your son, no matter what's going on with, you know, everything shutting down, there is a way to overcome. I know for a fact, because every day I have to put my mind towards all the positive crap out there. And I'm like, I'm determined to make it happen. Amen. Oh, real quick, shout out to our team from the Marriott Marquis that we were with today for this press conference. Now, I want them to join us as well to share, you know, their stories and some of the things that they've been going through, to see if we have resources for them as well. They all were fired from their jobs at the Marriott Marquis after working for years. Some people had given their lives like 25, 30 years at the Marriott Marquis and other locations throughout New York City and throughout the United States, only to be rejected during the pandemic. And that's not a good look for this nation, for our communities, and a lot of the communities of color. And that's Black, white, Chinese, Indian. Today, I stood up with the cutest Indian couple. I don't know if that happened to one of my friends. See, Sherry knows that happened. And that's why I asked Sherry too about her desire to join the culinary department or culinary arts, because it's happening to a lot of those that are in the culinary field. And maybe that's another issue, Sherry, too, because of the pandemic. They're utilizing the pandemic as this umbrella of why the madness is happening. But I encourage you to not give up, sister, even if you need certain degrees and different things like that. But if there's a way that we can help you, maybe even start your own thing or encourage you to be great irregardless, then that's what we're going to do. Because I just met all these people, and I have to shout out the cutest little Indian couple. The wife started at the Marriott Marquis. Mimi smiling because she's from Sri Lanka on that side. Hey, yes. I love it. They were so cute. And she stood up with me and she was like in tears, because here she is working at the Marriott Marquis for like 25 years. She started, then she brought her husband along, and, you know, it was like this little cute couple working together, which happens a lot in these types of industries. And then bam, they're both out of work. Their children are confused. The whole family is just in disbelief. And they were out here with us today protesting. And I want to shout out, you know, our Marriott family for all of their great energy and pushing forward, irregardless of what's happening. And this is, again, why we do the Economic Crisis Initiative, to share certain stories, but also to highlight that it will get better. It has to get better. We cannot stay in the places that we're in. We have to decide whether or not we want to move forward, because there's only one way to go forward. Right, Denise? I think Denise unmuted herself. Denise, did you have anything to say, sister?
I did. I'm sorry, guys. I'm multitasking tonight. I wanted to say to Sherry, hang in there. Of course, hang in there, because a lot of what you're doing with your son is amazing. And unfortunately, you know, I didn't hear about, well, I'm not in New York, but I'm not even hearing in Connecticut that, you know, there's social programs that are closing like that. So thank you for bringing that into awareness, so that if by chance we come into angel investors, people who want to invest in businesses, people who want to invest in kids or something like that, it's like, when we know of a need somewhere and we hear of another resource, we can always pass it along. I don't know of any resources now in that area, but I'll definitely keep my eyes and ears open if something comes along to bring it back to the group. Something that I was going to share, Mimi, the envelope strategy is a very good strategy. It's been around for a long time and it really does work, guys. And before you know it, you will have some money saved up that you can put away. I was going to also give another strategy. Well, first, let me just talk a little bit if I can. I'm put my camera back on it 1 second. Some of you guys know full-time, I have a job in insurance sales. So I do street marketing. And when like all the election stuff started coming up, the markets have been crazy during COVID anyhow, just crazy, very volatile, very up and down. We don't know which way it's going. And it hasn't, I'm not in the markets like that, so I don't want to say it's gotten better or worse, but I don't feel like it's gotten any better. And I knew for like a couple of years now that the economy is coming to a point where it's going to have to equalize. It's going to have to do something. And I don't know what that something that has to happen for it to kind of balance out. But something is going to happen that's going to be major. And it's going to change the way we look at money. It's going to change the way we live. And I think COVID was a big part of that, a humongous part of that. So with that being said, I'm trying to get back to my thought. Thoughts fighting for space right now. But with that being said, like when I'm on the streets and I'm working, you can feel the aura of uncertainty. Like people aren't really spending their money like that. People don't have it to spend like that. If they have it to spend like that, they're holding on like, I'm gonna hold on to my 2 pennies because I don't know what's happening tomorrow. So, the energy, you can feel the energy of the uncertainty of the times that we're living in. And so I think it's more important now to be purposeful about what we do, not to spend frivolously. This is not the time to spend on anything that's not going to bring you a profit. And I know you need to have faith and you need to kind of see it through. But if you have a plan, this is the time to get credentials. This is the time to invest in a business. This is the time to invest in real estate. If you understand the stock market or Forex, this is the time to do it. And there's no greater time than now. If you can team up with somebody and you can have a partnership, put it on paper, y'all. Get contracts, y'all. Don't just be going, yeah, you got some, I got some. Let's go do it. And y'all all excited. And then when stuff goes wrong, where my money at? So, put things in writing. You got a lawyer right here, Mimi's Vision. There you go. So, put it in. Get it legalized.
Yeah, you have to make sure everything checks out. Like that's why I'm so particular about, what I say, because I really try to merge these two industries. It's not really that easy. But like when, for me, when I took my oath, like that applies to my whole life. It's not just in one area, So I know for you and your job, like there's just so many levels to it. And like you come with all of that, like integrity and ethics, and it comes into everything, So yeah, I think community is so important because I wouldn't be where I am without my community. And should there come a time and I'm, balling out of control, it's my community first who I'm gonna be rising up, Yeah. So great point.
The last thing I want to add value to our group is this is a good time to look at your budgets and see where you can cut out, see where you can do a little bit more with less. A lot of women, I keep hearing, I'm working from home, so I'm keeping the kids at home to avoid daycare costs. That is phenomenal because that's like probably 1,200, 2,000, depending on what your daycare costs. That's a lot of money a month. One lady, she saved the daycare costs for like 6 months and went ahead and bought her a piece of property with that daycare money. So guys, I mean, this is the time. And I know I said the rule of 72. I was going to tell you guys about the rule of 72. Basically, if you look at the interest rate, and this is better when it's visual, but if you look at the interest rate that you're getting on your savings accounts, your bank accounts, your credit cards, whatever it is that has an interest rate, right? You might be paying the interest or you might be getting the interest. Now, remember, when you invest in a bank, a credit union, or any kind of global, any kind of institution that's investing in the global economy, they are collecting interest off of your money. They're giving you less interest. So if you think about your bank account and you think about how much interest you're getting on the highest yielding account, you're probably getting like point something, something, something %, right? Sorry. So let's just say, for instance, let's be generous, you're getting 1%. If you're getting 1%, right? So say you start out with a $10,000 investment at 1%. How many years is it going to take for your money to double? So you're taking the, oh shucks, I need paper. I need paper to do it. But you're basically looking at the interest rate. If the interest rate is higher, you're going to double your money faster. But remember, if you're paying that interest, if you have a credit card, if there's any way you can find a way to pay it off during this time, this is a good time to pay it off because we don't know what's going to happen with the economy. Now, if you're paying, like, let's say 25% interest on a credit card, think about this, y'all. The bank that you're paying that 25% interest is doubling that money very fast. And that's coming out of your pocket. When you look at your statement, you're paying the minimum balance. How long is it going to take you to pay off that card at the minimum balance with that interest rate, those finance charges hitting you and hitting you and hitting you? And don't even pay late. Don't you dare pay late and pay on top of that some more fees. I love the commercial where they have the fees all over the body like fleas from my animal. I love that. I love them commercials. But if you have an account that is high yielding to you, that is good. You're going to double your money much faster. If you start out with a $10,000 investment, and I know that's not everybody in the room. I mean, I understand, I get it, but I'm just using numbers just for numbers' sake. Don't bite me. But if you have a $10,000 investment and you want to double that money, you want to look at what's the interest rate and then divide that. I shouldn't tell you this because I can't do it in my head. I need to do it on paper. But basically, if you have a $10,000 investment, how long is it going to take you to double that? And how many doubling periods do you have left in your life?
Hypotheticals. You could do the hypothetical, sis, because we don't. Okay, so for, again, clarification purposes, real quick, didn't want to jump in, but shout outs to everybody watching on social media as well. So hypothetical, you could just, share the information in a way so nobody takes it to the bank, literally. And then they say, Denise Williams from that economic crisis thing said, if I did this and that. No, we're not financial advisors, guys. We're just trying to enlighten all of us together so that we can think differently and we could save and reduce our debt. So I always have to throw that in there, but share from an organic standpoint, sis. You got this. You got this.
Basically, if you have an account, you want to get the highest interest possible. You might find an investment account where you get 12% interest. That's something that is going to be good for you. Leave your money there. So if you're paying for a card or something that has interest, you want the lowest interest rate possible because the bank is going to double their money on you, which means you're making them richer while you are getting poorer or just flatlining. So rule of thumb through all of this is look at your budgets, look at where you can cut. If you can cut the cable and go with the Fire Stick, if you can cut out the daycare and still get your work done and still be productive, or maybe do a community where now you come together with other mothers and you take turns and you do things with the kids. Get creative. This is the time to do it. If you want to advance, this is the time to do it. Get creative and find, there's so many online platforms where you can now do stuff. And then within the confines of the budget, look at where it's costing you more to have the things that you want, and what can you do without? And take that interest into consideration, where you put yourself on the receiving end of that interest rather than you're paying other people back. Because let me tell you, when I go out in these streets every day, I feel it. I feel it. And I don't know what is coming, when it's coming, but I could feel it.
Thank you, Miss Denise. Sherry, I don't know if that's your hand up or you're just saying amen to that, sister. You know, sometimes it's hard to determine. Real quick, I want to shout out Michael Baruso. He says, hey, Anaya, great job today. Thanks. You're welcome, Michael. I am all a part of our Marriott family, and I am here for all of you. Riemann Dihar says, hi, Denise. Riemann is watching and says hi. Kenneth Yokel says hello and has a lot of clapping hands and stuff. Thank you, Kenneth. And of course, Gregory Roberts is on the line as well. Oh, we got, you know, it's so funny. And I think we might have another gentleman that's watching, or it might be a female. I lost that last comment, but I feel like all the men are watching, but all the women are here talking tonight. Very interesting dynamic. Hey, I'll take it. Sherry, did you want to add something?
So yes, I definitely was putting my hand up. Amen to that, sister. Definitely hit a lot of things right on. I just wanted to because Mimi turned her camera off. I actually sent her a couple of private messages and I wanted her to respond. I don't know if she's seen them, but I didn't want to just interrupt like that, but I just want her to check her messages.
Sorry guys, I'm just sending a link out. I do gotta go in a minute, but did you send me a message on WhatsApp or Instagram?
No, right here in the chat.
Oh, you did? Okay, hang on, let me look.
All right, and while she looks, don't forget, guys, and everybody watching on social media as well, we're having a workshop next week. If you want to take part in that workshop, it's free. We have David Germain as our lead speaker, as our leader in the real estate and I guess broker dynamic.
So I actually, for the call instructors, we actually just.
Sorry, guys.
Mimi, is that you? Or are you speaking yet?
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, she's going in and out. Hold on, let me just share this real quick and then you respond to Sherry. Just reminding everybody about our workshop next week, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to be a part, if you want to be in the building physically, we're going to be on 125th Street. I can only have 10 people with me physically, but everybody else will get that Zoom link way before. And an Eventbrite, that's the site, Eventbrite, so you all can blast it. We want to have 100 young people available and online with us on that day, because we want to get those young people to start thinking about their futures. Go ahead, Mimi, and respond to Miss Sherry.
No, well, actually, I wanted it in private. That's why I did it in private.
Yeah, no, Sherry. Just I'm gonna get your number from Anaya from the group.
Okay.
And I'll definitely send you a message. But you guys, I do have to run. I have my 8 o'clock meeting just started.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry for the abrupt leaving. But yeah, just always, you know, booked and blessed, I guess.
Booked and blessed, baby. That should be a new hat. Mimi, we love you, and let's talk offline, but also I will get you connected with Sherry. And then last but not least, have a beautiful night. And don't forget our workshop next week. If you want to add anything, just let us know. We will be here ready for you.
Okay, thanks guys. Have a great night.
Good night.
You're welcome.
Good night, everybody.
That was amazing. We thank God for Miss Mimi being in these industries. And we're actually about to shut it down. Sherry, don't forget, send me a private message or a text message or on WhatsApp or what have you to remind me, and I'll get you guys connected for sure. You gals. I always say guys, but that's so disrespectful to the womanhood. Amen. Great job. All right. So with that being said, I feel like we accomplished a whole lot. We can get back onto the WhatsApp group. I'm going to drink some warm water for this sexy voice of mine, right? And then, as you know, I have the 8:30 platform with the Anaya A Show. I'm going to go on for just a little bit tonight just to share updates about the day that we had together and try to get, I guess, the politicians or the politician wannabes out there to really stand up for our people in our community, because we should not let them have like leniency or anything of that nature because we're in a pandemic. No, you guys can't give us the same rhetoric that you gave us for like 20,000 years. Hello, we're in a pandemic. It's a different type of game. We need you guys to say something different and come with a different energy. So we're going to talk about that, right? You feel that, sis?
I feel it.
All right. So with that being said, does anybody else have anything else to share before we shut down on tonight? All right. Well, Denise is admiring little Davy over there. Denise, are we ready to do our little ending session, boo? Is little Davy gonna let us, or we're gonna find out? Look, she's so silly. Well, guys, so girls, ladies, we do an end session. Thank you so much. Hi, Davy. I can't with him. He's like, I'm here. You called my name. I'm here. Yes. I love it. I love it. It's so cute. Ladies, just to let you know, you all are amazing and you're beautiful. Mama Brenda, thank you. Please, Mama Brenda, don't forget to connect with Sherry. I'll get you two connected. Let's see what we can do for resources purposes. Let's see what we can do and maybe even make this whole thing a project for not only the Economic Crisis Initiative, but other women that may be going through similar things. Sherry, you never know. You may be that person that really brings a different dynamic in our communities because you've opened up your voice and you have spoken. You've opened up your mouth, you've spoken, you've shared what is bothering you at this time, and you may be a leader in this game. And I'm like, kudos to that, sister, because anytime you're bold enough to share what's really bothering you, first of all, I have to add, and Denise knows, as a health specialist, yoga instructor, whenever you release things out of you that is bothering you, you're already one step ahead of the game. What people don't understand is when you keep a lot of this hurt and pain inside of you, you end up very physically sick, right? You end up causing yourself to have physical illnesses because your body interprets that stress, like they say, it's a silent killer, as like tension, as issues, and that's why your body does weird stuff when you're stressed out. So let's continue to share and grow. I'm so happy you joined us tonight, and this is the beginning of a very long sisterhood. And when the brothers come on, it'll be a family, but right now we're the sisterhood. Amen.
That's right. The sisters are holding it down. Yeah, and we are already born leaders. We got our crowns and we ain't putting them down.
That's right. Put them crowns up. Ladies, matter of fact, I'm gonna have to go to Burger King and get my crown. I left it at Burger King the other day, child. It's so cute. I'm gonna get me another one because you know we do it like that. Oh my God. And of course, Big Brother would just show up as we're about to shut down. Aries the voice just shows up. That's my big brother right there. Like I said, we are family. So we're gonna let him in and we're gonna talk for a few. Aries, can you hear me? Aries the voice has made it live. And did we lose? Oh,
what's going on, sis? How you doing?
Not
I'm on a bus headed home right now.
Oh, okay, got you. Probably were out all day then, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we wanted you to share, but you know what? Since it's about to be over right now, are you going to be available? Are you going to be available next week for the workshop for sure, big bro?
Yeah, dude, let me read. Oh, I gotta recheck the message, but definitely assure me of the date. Yes. So I can make sure. Cause got a couple of actions coming. That's why I kind of was on the phone a lot today. So got a couple of actions coming up March and May and March. May and March.
Well, real quick, can you just introduce yourself? And I know you're on the bus, and I wanted you to share some great things tonight, but like I said, we're going to shut down, but I still want you to share something. And then I'm going to remind you before Wednesday that it's Wednesday from 6 to 9 next week. And if you're able to make it live on 125th, you know, at my office, then you can definitely make it live. If not, if you want to do it through Zoom, but I want you to come next week for sure and share what we started talking about last week. But if you want to tell the people who you are and a little bit about you.
Well, if I sound mumbled because I'm on a bus and I have a mask on, but I'm a community activist. Go by the name Aries the Voice. Organization, nonprofit, non-501c3 called Young Black Scholars, YBS. I'm also the host of my own talk show that's on BronxNet Channel 68 called YBS TV. And yeah, pretty much I'm just a person who's a regular person who just tries to do right and try to do good and try to help where I can help and try to motivate where I can motivate.
Excellent. And he had shared some great stuff last week. And so he's going to come back with us on the following week, which is our workshop, because I would love for him to either open up and share how he was able to do what he did in saving money. And I want him to definitely motivate the community. And of course, we'll have David Germain back with us, as well as a couple of other great speakers. And of course, we're going to have our yoga sister doing her thing on that day as well. Aries, you said you have a couple of great initiatives coming up. Can you talk about them now, or do you want to wait till possibly next week to share?
I guess I can give like a little quick view because we don't have everything set.
Okay.
But basically, we're definitely gonna try to push to reopen, get some cases reopened. Some cases of political action and police brutality have been closed, and we're working with a couple of organizations and a couple of families. Stay tuned. You know how I do. Stay tuned.
I know. I know. That's why I was like, do you want to share now or no?
Nah, we're gonna wait.
All right, no problem. No problem. Well, you just caught us as we were about to shut it down. I have to get some warm water. I was at a press conference all day and it was super wild, but amazing. I'll fill you in on that too, big bro, offline. But right now we're going to shut it down with what we call our like healing session. Oh, I like that, Denise. It's our healing session. And Denise has her bowl and I go through the whole process of doing our affirmations. And Denise, do you want to lead us off and I'll close out, or how do you want to do it, sis? What is it?
What does my sound sound like?
Oh, the background, you have something going on.
You hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna go.
All right, as she gets ready to do that, I'm so thankful for each and every one of you. This affirmation process literally came to me after dealing with Denise and working with her a couple of times and realizing like I have to remind myself every day that I am beautiful, I am wonderfully made, that what I see right now before me is not the end all, and that we as a community are bigger and better than our circumstances, but we have to constantly remind ourselves, and we're not going to just overdo it and constantly push, but we're going to remind ourselves subtly how amazing we are. And at this time, Denise is going to do her majestic bowl. And can you tell them a little bit about the Tibetan bowl before you even start so they can know why it's important that we do this, please, Denise?
So I love the Tibetan bowl. It's basically a bowl that has symbols and patterns, but I don't really know too much about the symbols and the patterns. But what I do know about is that the vibrations are healing. Vibrations, they activate your chakras, which are the energy centers of the body. There's 7 of them, from the top of your head, the crown chakra, all the way to the base of your spine. And then you even have receptors in your feet. So when you're touching the ground, I was talking with a guy today, and I was telling him, you know, he's having problems with his feet. And I was encouraging him to take care of himself, because when you root to the ground, when you touch the ground with your feet, you're rooting to the energy that the earth gives you, and you're rooting to whatever that healing energy is.
That's my own feet.
Off that energy.
Go ahead. Can you speak up a little bit louder too, Denise?
Yes. See. Yes. Thank you. So, essentially, when you're outside, you're rooting to the ground through your feet, and you're rooting to the sky through your head. So there's lots of energy that travel up and through the body. If you take advantage of it, you can really, you know, breathe and get yourself centered to a point where you can heal the body and just, you know, work on mindset, work on anything, manifest whatever you want type of thing. But I use the bowl because the bowl gives the vibrations that activate the chakras, the sound. Sound waves travel. And I at first I didn't understand what it was, but basically now what I use it for is I use it to just center my mind, just get me to a piece of calm, get me to a sense of calm, but also heal my body. and help me to be more aware of where are there imbalances in my body. And I send energy, like thinking about it, sending energy and breath into those places in my body where it may need some kind of love, some kind of whatever. And so, just continue to meditate on that until, you eventually feel something that is better. And you keep doing it because you're practicing. So the Tibetan Bowl is basically something that comes from the Western world? No, Eastern world.
Eastern.
World.
We're the West Side.
Yes, not from here. It's not from here. Eastern world. There are the metal Tibetan bowls. There are crystal bowls. There are all kinds of sound mechanisms now that can give you the sound baths. This is just one, and this this is common to find Amazon. So, but there's lots of companies out there that can basically do that. But I recommend the Tibetan Bowl for meditation practices. You can do it with babies. It's great. They love it. You can do it with your kids. David loves it. He'd be like, mommy. I'm like, oh gosh, don't break my bowl, boy. I need my bowl.
Right. So cute.
That's the bowl, essentially. And I don't tie it to religious practices. I just tie it to what is going to work to heal.
Amen. Amen. And it heals and it's beautiful. And that's why we utilize this bowl and the art of affirmations during the ending of every session with the ECI, especially because we're talking about money. We're speaking about manifestation, greatness. We're speaking about changing and altering our lives into forward thinking, forward moving. And so that's why we end every session with this practice, not for religious purposes. Don't go to your pastor and be like, oh my God, Anaya got me doing some voodoo. No, not at all. This is just a healing mechanism. So join us as my sister takes it over with the bowl, and then you'll hear my voice coming in. You can close your eyes if you want to, or you could just don't think of any thoughts. That's one of the things that I love about this. Just think of the future, think of greatness, and join us in this healing session. And I want you guys to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouths. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouths. And as you're thinking of nothing except for great thoughts and your beautiful futures, let the bowl and the vibration take you to a deeper place. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Feel oneness with the earth, your souls, God, the universe, and listen to the vibration. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth and repeat. You can either say it out loud or within yourself. I am beautiful. I am wonderfully made. My life matters. I am created for greatness. My family is great. My community is already rich. I am already rich. I am at full peace. Envision all the greatness that you desire. Every dollar, every million, everything that you want, the house, the multifamily unit, Aries' business and his big building, whatever it is that you desire for yourself, if you see yourself being healthy and growing and prospering, envision it now. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. How do you guys feel? I feel so good. I feel, because now it makes sense about the head and the feet, and I feel it. I feel something releasing out of my brain that it never happened before this whole time. Full experience. We'll be back, ladies and gentlemen. Get up, be great this week. Denise, thank you. I'm going to mark my calendar for next week, Wednesday morning, 6:30 a.m. But either way, let's talk very soon. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you. I thank you. Aries, let's follow up each and every one of you. I want to hear from you. Thank you for joining us. Be amazing. See you soon.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Denise. Bye, guys. Love you all.